Imagine you're standing in your tiny backyard right now. That sad little 50 square meter patch of grass that's been mocking you for years. You step outside on a sunny morning, coffee in hand, and all you see is empty space begging for purpose, while your grocery bill keeps climbing higher every week. Fresh vegetables, juicy fruits, and fragrant herbs feel like a distant dream, because every garden you've tried before just turns into a weedy mess that demands weekends of back-breaking work. You didn't fail, friend. The common backyard method failed you, with its endless watering, chemical sprays, and disappointing harvests that leave you feeling stuck and frustrated. But here's the twist that changes everything. What if that same small space could become a complete 7-layer food forest that feeds your whole family for decades with almost zero maintenance after the first year? It's ridiculously simple, dirt cheap, and built on forgotten knowledge they tried to bury because it works too well and costs way too little to keep the big seed and fertilizer companies happy. You can do this, right in your own backyard. And I'm walking you through every single step so you feel the excitement building with every layer you add. You start by picturing the magic in your mind, just like I did when my own small yard felt hopeless. You grab a simple piece of paper and sketch out those 7 layers that stack nature's wisdom vertically, turning every inch into a thriving, self-sustaining system. No more fighting the soil or chasing perfection, because this design mimics the wild forests that have fed people for centuries without anyone lifting a finger after setup. You feel that spark of hope as you mark the center spot for the tallest trees, knowing your 50 square meters will soon explode with life. Next, you head out and gather everything you need for under $340 total, because this isn't some fancy kit that drains your wallet. You pick up 3 dwarf fruit trees like apple, pear, and plum for just $105, knowing they'll form the canopy that shades and protects everything below. Then you add 6 berry shrubs, blueberry, raspberry, and gooseberry, costing only $72, ready to fill the shrub layer with sweet treats you can pick by the handful. You toss in 8 perennial herbs and vegetables, such as rhubarb, asparagus, artichoke, and comfrey, for a mere $32. Plus, 4 nitrogen-fixing plants like clover and more comfrey at $15 to keep the soil rich without any store-bought fertilizers. You roll out a big sheet of cardboard for sheet mulching at $18 and grab 3 50-liter bags of compost along with 100 kilograms of wood chip mulch for $45, feeling the satisfaction of using simple stuff anyone can find. You add 10 small tree guards and stakes for $28 to protect your new babies, then some ground cover seeds like clover, nasturtium, and strawberries for $10. And finally, climbing plants, such as grapes or beans for the fence, at $15. The total hits exactly $340, and you smile, because this tiny investment is about to pay you back in fresh food for the rest of your life. You load it all into your wheelbarrow or car trunk, heart racing with that neighborly excitement of building something real. Now you step into the yard and begin the transformation with sheet mulching that smothers the old grass without any digging or chemicals. You lay down the cardboard thick and heavy, overlapping every edge so not a single weed dares poke through. Then you spread that 15-centimeter layer of wood chip mulch on top. The smell of fresh wood fills the air as you work, and you feel the ground soften under your feet, already waking up the soil life that will do the hard work for you. You pause for a moment, hands in the earth, and realize this is the forgotten trick that turns dead space into a living supermarket. With the base ready, you move to the center and plant the canopy layer first. Those 3 dwarf fruit trees positioned perfectly so their branches will spread without crowding your small space. You dig each hole with care, mixing in a handful of compost as you go, and you can almost taste the future apples, pears, and plums dropping right into your hands. The trees stand tall now, guarded and mulched, and you step back to admire how they anchor the whole forest like wise old friends watching over the younger plants. Around them, you add the understory layer next, filling the gaps with smaller fruit trees and large shrubs that thrive in the dappled light. You keep the story flowing as you introduce the shrub layer, tucking in those 6 berry bushes and nitrogen fixers so they hug the trees and feed the soil at the same time. Each plant you place feels like adding a new member to a happy family, where everyone helps everyone else with no fighting for space. The herbaceous layer comes alive when you plant the rhubarb, asparagus, artichoke, and comfrey, their broad leaves already promising to shade the ground and make their own fertilizer tea later on. You work steadily, sensing the balance building, because this isn't random gardening, it's nature's perfect guild system that self-regulates. You sprinkle the ground cover layer with clover, strawberries, and nasturtium seeds, watching them settle into the mulch like a living carpet that prevents erosion and invites beneficial insects. The climbers go up last against your fence or wall, grapes or beans reaching for the sky to use that vertical space you never thought mattered before. And don't forget the root layer hidden below, where you slip in garlic, onions, and potatoes in the little gaps, so every level works together underground, too. Your hands are dirty, but your heart is full as you step back and see the 7 layers stacked in harmony right there in under 50 square meters. You give everything a deep watering that first time, soaking the mulch until it feels like a sponge holding life-giving moisture for weeks ahead. The yard already looks different, greener, fuller, and you breathe in that fresh, earthy scent, knowing the real magic is just beginning. This is no ordinary garden that needs you every weekend with hoses and hose and endless worry about pests. Instead, you have built a living ecosystem that copies the wild woods, where leaves fall and feed the soil, where bugs and birds keep everything in balance without you spraying a single chemical. You didn't need fancy tools or big machines because this forgotten knowledge relies on plants doing what they were born to do. Each layer supports the next, so the canopy shades the understory, the shrubs fix nitrogen for the herbs, the ground cover holds moisture for the roots, and the climbers use the edges you already have. You feel that freedom starting to bloom, even on day 1. Imagining the day when you walk out and fill a basket without ever visiting the store. And the best part is how it all fits in your tiny backyard. Because vertical stacking means you harvest more food per square meter than any flat row garden ever